So what confuses sexual roles? In our previous video, we outlined how there are only 3 sexual roles, and those are based on the roles God gave all human beings to play in the Garden of Eden, to be the filler, the subduer, or the ruler. The problem is when we try to use these roles to achieve fulfillment. So subduing for fulfillment, when a subduer uses actions, they intend to subdue their partner to prove that they are the subduer. So they're seeking for fulfillment of identity, purpose, and meaning in the creation of actions, subduing actions with their partner. But as you found, that doesn't work. In the same way, the fillers try to use emotions to fill their partner in order to prove that they are the filler, which if they're trying to prove it, that means that they know they're not. So you can't create fulfillment until you have it first. And likewise, the rulers try to use thoughts to rule the sexual experience in order to prove that they are the ruler. But again, that denotes the important information that they know they're not the ruler. Because why would you need to prove something if you already are that thing? So trying to use sexual roles to find fulfillment for your identity, for your purpose, for your meaning is the sin. And that's what we're so confused about. So fulfillment takes place before sexuality. We're trying to use sexuality to get to fulfillment, and it never works. Why? Because the personal fulfillment of your soul must take place before you engage in sexual union. So how to unconfuse sexual roles? Well, if we're confused because we're using our roles for fulfillment, the solution is very simple. You must be subdued, filled, or ruled before you attempt to use your role. So the subduers must be subdued before they try to subdue their sexual partner. And you say, well, how can that happen? Your partner can't subdue you, you're the subduer. So how do you become subdued first? The only option is to turn away from all human relationships, all thoughts, emotions, and actions, and go to the one who is the subduer, God Himself. God wants to subdue your soul through a spiritual union. A union that doesn't involve your body or your thoughts, emotions, or actions. He will then teach you how to subdue by subduing you. Then you can turn and use your body to create actions to subdue your partner in a similar but unique way. Similar for the fillers, you must first be filled before you can fill your sexual partner. So the emotions you're going to create as the filler, they are an expression of what you've been filled with by God. Now this of course requires that as the filler you first come empty into your relationship with God. He can only fill you if you're first empty. Fortunately, you're already infinitely empty. So you have plenty of opportunity to learn and grow as God fills you first. Then you can use your emotional heart to create feelings that will fill your partner. In the same way, the rulers must be ruled before ruling. Of course, this is very frustrating for rulers. You would rather rule first rather than be ruled first. But the soul must be ruled by God. Without this, you don't know how to rule. You're just guessing. And that's why you're getting the results you've been getting. You must first submit to be ruled by God, and then you can turn to your sexual partner and rule them in a similar but unique way. So your sexual role can only be learned through intimacy with God. So why even bother unconfusing sexual roles? Things aren't terrible. I mean, it's not the way you want them to be in your sexual experiences, but why even bother going through this union with God in the first place? Well, the first step is training your soul. You want to be great. You want to be the subduer, filler, and ruler. That has to happen first in your soul, and only God can do that to you. He makes you into his likeness as the subduer, the filler, or the ruler. And he's not going to give you this in thoughts, emotions, or actions. There's no book. There's no instruction manual. You're going to learn this through an intimate union with him. Not a sexual union, because that only takes place between human bodies. A spiritual union, which is vastly more dynamic, rich, and provocative than anything we experience through the sexual union of bodies. Once your soul has been trained and become the subduer, filler, and ruler, you must turn and train your body. Train your body how to create subduing actions, or filling emotions, or ruling thoughts. You become the trainer of your body. Then your body can train your marriage. Both human bodies, the male and the female, have to work together in the creation of marriage. And if you're not first training your body, your marriage is going to be a disaster, because your bodies are going to try to figure out what to do, but they're not going to know what's going on. You're the teacher of your body, and the only way you can learn is to first be taught by God. So God trains your soul, you train your body, and your body trains your marriage. So who then are these individuals who are going to venture out and unconfuse the sexual roles that we're so frustrated with? Well, first, you have to be one born confused. Clearly, if you're already not confused, then you don't need to learn anything. You already have achieved perfection. You don't need any lessons from God. You've already got it all down. You're the perfect subduer, filler, and ruler, and you don't need to grow. However, for those who are confused, you're where you need to be. You need God's instructions. You need to experience his intimate, infinite spiritual union ceaselessly. So not only do you need to be born confused, you need to still be confused, because you haven't yet reached perfection. Maybe there's some of you that have, but those of you who have not reached perfection, you're still confused about how to use your sexual roles. And that's good, because that means right now you need a deeper, more intimate union with God, which will allow you to express more artful expressions with your sexual partner. However, you also need to remain confused. That will necessitate you staying in deeper and deeper union with God by faith, because you're still confused. You haven't yet reached the pinnacle of understanding how to use your sexual role. You're not yet the perfect subduer, filler, and ruler, and you never will be. And that's good. That's fun. That means your skills will always be growing as long as you remain confused about their ultimate perfection. Because only God is the ultimate perfection of the subduer, filler, and the ruler. So your job is to remain confused and keep learning from him, and then express what you learn with your partner. So remaining confused is essential for growing more skillful in your sexual role.